My name is Nafazana Akira, so I will presenting the introduction of the effect. Okay. COVID-19 has been infection disease caused by serious respiratory acute coronavirus syndrome. The first case of coronavirus was detected at the year end of 2019 in Wuhan city of China, and it was spread rapidly around the world in the first quarter of 2020, and it caused it to become a upper issue of the world. The effect of COVID-19 has been disastrous for the world economy. Both private and public sectors grew up because of this virus. Not only that, but it also cut off the supply chain of the business, causing production and manufacture to be hidden even more.
Farisa Fakiha binti Zahari. So I will tell about the definition of inflation rate. Inflation refers to a continued rise in the general price level. The inflation rate can be measured by comparing the change in general price rate in a year compared to a previous year. Inflation does not mean a high price but describe a general price rise for a certain period of time. Inflation will affect the cost of living because an increase in inflation rate will influence the value of money. This is type of inflation. So the first type is demand pull inflation. To an increase in the general price rate caused by increased demand in the market when the demand for goods and services increases while the difficult supply increases. The price of goods will rise in a market. This is because in a state of full level of employment, firms are unable to increase output, resulting in existing supply not being able to accommodate increased demand in the company. Among the factors causing poor demand inflation are increased by supply, increased income rate, and increased by government spending. So, example for demand pull inflation is demand is high but supply is low. For example, for festival Hari Raya, the demand for chicken is high but chicken cannot be produced more than the normal quantity. So the increase in the price of chicken occurred due to the high demand for chicken. So next is cost push inflation. Increased prices of input factors such as wages and the cost of raw material lead to increased cost of company output, and this will lead to an increase the general price level in the market. So the example is chicken farmer have to feed chicken, but there are no many companies that produce chicken brand. So the majority of firm import chicken brand from the foreign country. So the increase in the price of the chicken is due to the increase of the cost.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Sarita Saada. So I will present about the effect of pandemic on inflation rate, unemployment rate leading to poverty. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a negative impact on labour market, with employment suffering heavily. Lockdown and travel restrictions have decreased in demand, causing many businesses to reduce or stop operations, endangering employees. The COVID-19 virus that causing the implementation of lockdown by the government and business closure have had a huge impact, resulting in a decrease in income or the total loss of employment for millions of workers in numerous nations. The people in the service sector, tourism, hospitality and aviation in particular, were the hardest hit since the virus people start traveling, especially to foreign countries. Those that lost their job due to COVID-19 outbreak are mostly from lower income group. For this group of people, dealing with the financial effect of COVID-19 has been challenging due to decreased employment opportunity and a lack of precautionary saving. So we talk about the statistic rate of unemployment rate after COVID-19. So generally speaking, before COVID-19, Malaysia unemployment is relatively low and stable. But we can see that after the outbreak, unemployment rate in year 2020, which the year after the outbreak happened, the rate drastically increased to 4.54%. We can see that for sure COVID-19 has had a huge impact on unemployment as it decreased in so many gaps. Next, we talk about the poverty rate based on state. So the incidence of absolute poverty by state shows that Sabah recorded the highest percentage of 25.3% in 2020, previously recorded as 19.5%. Kelantan recorded a significant increase in poverty by 8.8% to 21.2% in 2020 compared to last year. Terengganu increased in poverty by 5.9% to 12.0% compared to last year 6.9%. The outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic has had a significant impact on the household income and subsequently affected the structure of household group. The impact may be temporary as the economy is expected to improve and recover.
Hi, my name is Noshaira binti Aziz. So I will tell you about the next effect of COVID-19, which is tourism. So prior to COVID-19, the travel and tourism industry had grown to be the one of most significant in the global economy, creating over 320 million jobs globally. Over 3.6 million Malaysians work in the tourism sector, making up to 23.6% of the country's workforce. Tourism businesses around the world, as has happened in many other countries, went from being comparatively stable operations to potentially facing bankruptcy with staff reductions and wage negotiations for others. So the implementation of movement control, or the MCO, has made things harder than ever for local tourism and its associated industries. The statistic there is retrieved from Statista Research Department 2023. We can clearly see that in 2020 there are a massive decreasing of tourists visited compared to 2019. In 2021, the number just getting worse from previous year. In 2022, approximately 10 million tourists visited in Malaysia. The nation's border was reopened in April 2020 following 2 years of travel restrictions that had a negative impact on the number of visitors. Malaysians are not allowed to travel abroad, cross state borders or attend events. Foreigners were not allowed to enter Malaysia since everyone must adhere to standard operating procedure SOP for their daily movement. All sightseeing activities were either cancelled or severely limited. The airline industry has been greatly impacted by this COVID-19 pandemic. So due to this extremely low sales, airlines were unable to generate enough revenue to cover their operating costs. So since there were no longer any tourists, the market had very little demand. As a result, all the practitioners soon lost their jobs due to the industry's freeze. So many of the professionals in the tourism sector moved to other industries or took on part-time work to survive. Due to tour groups cancelling, local tour guides had to deal with being jobless. Many local tour guides were unemployed during the entire year. So a decrease in tourism can impact Malaysia's inflation rate by reducing demand for goods and services, particularly in the hospitality and related sectors. So that's all. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Amrin Rauda binti Azhar. So now I will present about rising costs. The impact of COVID-19 has been to drive up the cost of commodities throughout the nation. The crisis has brought about a significant decline in the demand for many key commodities. In Malaysia, a significant supply disruption occurred at the beginning of this crisis due to by strict movement restriction, which in turn resulted in increased price pressure for some perishable food items. Meanwhile, when the economy reopened, some sectors that previously had to stop operation temporarily were found to be still experiencing sluggish demand. This is due to the concern about the state of health, thus driving business in the sector offer promotional prices to attract customers. Through the highlight of Malaysian Economic Statistics Series 7 2021 by DOSM, which was published recently, explained Malaysia inflation was below zero in March 2020 until January 2021, following the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to Dr. Ainizul Halmi, the price increase factor is due to lack of activity or demand from the small and medium business sector, causing traders to turn to making profit recovery to the consumer sector. It is because producers and suppliers of customer goods had to shift the focus of the market from traders to consumer directly. Due to the compliance with SOP, production costs are higher and production can no longer be maintained optimally due to the control of the number of workers or disruption from the COVID-19 infection to workers also make it difficult to achieve break-even. In addition, rising global raw material prices have an impact on production costs too. Furthermore, the depreciating value of the Malaysian ringgit RM 4.2 against the US dollar has a double impact on import product, particularly food like rice, onions and chilies. Malaysia also estimates to import food items no less than 60 billion a year through the highlight of Malaysian Economic Statistics Series 7 2021 by DOSM, which was published recently, explained Malaysian inflation was below zero in March 2020 until January 10, 2021 following the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic. So, the ministry has implemented the Malaysian Family Maximum Price Scheme, which is SHKM, which set the maximum price for a specific item for a set period of time in an effort to curb the rise in the cost of goods. Since then, the International Monetary Fund (IMF) has revised and lowered the inflation forecast in 2020 due to a combination of lower commodity price and economic activity the weaker. So that's all from me. Thank you.
We already come to the conclusion. The COVID-19 pandemic has led to decrease in employment and income, resulting in increased poverty rate. The tourism industry has been severely impacted, leading to the job loss and economic challenges. The disruption in transportation and supply chain has further affected the economy and caused inflation. The government of Malaysia and implement various programs and initiatives to combat unemployment, poverty, and revive the tourism sector. Thank you. That's all from us.